What could this monstrosity be? If I'm honest, I don't even know myself. Okay, so joking aside, this is my new hobby slash something, I don't even know. Like I said, if you don't know what this is, I don't blame you. And yes, my room is in a state, just ignore that. This is, and no, it really doesn't look like it. This is a 3D printer. Yes, it is. And now, you're probably thinking to yourself, he built a 3D printer. Okay, why has he not posted 10,000 videos of himself building it to milk every last bit of it to get the most views possible on YouTube? Well, if I'm honest, I forgot to record any of it. Otherwise, I would have. Probably. I probably would have made 2 or 3. But yeah, it really doesn't look like a 3D printer. But there's the hot end, there's the heated bed, ramps board, filaments, power supply. It works. Unfortunately, I don't have the laptop with me to start it up right now. And yes, it is, if I can demonstrate this, the most unstable thing ever. And it's tensioned with zip ties. And I literally, to get the belts to attach to something to actually move it, I literally just screwed through the belts. Which, if you know how a 3D printer works and what you shouldn't do, you shouldn't do that. But yeah, just running a basic, not that you can really see it, but a basic ramps board. There's a Raspberry Pi that I plan to run Octoprint on. NEMA 17 by 40 stepper motors. A heated bed, which is anything but level, so I basically have to print everything with a raft. So yeah, it's terrible, but this is not its final form. Let me go show you. I'm somewhere else, and the quality might have gotten a little bit better because there is some proper natural lighting instead of in my room where there's almost no lighting at all. But anyway, so this is what my printer is soon to look like, or this is the frame of what my printer is soon to look like. Yeah, I can't even get that in a full shot. That's it. It's rather big. This is, I haven't mentioned this yet, I don't think. This is what you call a Delta 3D printer. I should have explained while I had my functional printer there. But basically, you have 3 arms that run off these... come on. That run off these linear rails. On my one, I'm using linear bearings. But for something this size, linear bearings don't really work out that well because of how big you need to have the bars. So this is just aluminium extrusion with sliders. There's 3 on one right now, but in the final thing, there's going to be one of these on each bar. And then it's going to have this carbon fiber rod for the little things that go into the center. That's going to go into the center, 2 of them on each bar. And then you have these, which are tie rod ends, or rod ends, or whatever you want to call them. They're basically just swivel joints. Focus. 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 Oh, fuck. There we go. It's basically just a swivel joints or ball joints or whatever you want to call this. So these allow for the full range of movement in a Delta printer. These are pretty common to use. You can also use universal joints or normal ball joints. It just sort of depends on how you want to build it. These are some 3D printed brackets that I made. See, my printer does work. it does work, surprisingly. And I do apologize if the camera is a bit shaky. I am just holding my phone with my hand, and it is a new phone. So hopefully the camera is decent. So these are some 3D printed brackets, and for as wobbly and unstructured that my printer is, it actually has above par accuracy, I would say. And I have printed... Let me go get it. So, this is a Game of Thrones Hand of the Kingpin. The back is terrible because I used a raft and my bed wasn't completely leveled when I did this. But that has pretty decent accuracy. This is printed at 0.06 millimeters. Layer height. Sorry, my phone just got a message. So if you know what that means, you'll know that is pretty good. When I was cleaning it up, I cocked up the actual stem a bit. You can see there is some scraping there, but I think it makes it look more like actual metal. And yeah, this was just no primer, just painted, mainly because I was getting impatient and just wanted to see it work. And as you can see, you can actually see veins and everything in the hand. So this is probably the highest quality prints I've done. I have also printed a skull, which I do not have a picture of, so insert it here. But yeah, this is sort of a new hobby of mine. I am also, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but in the process of building another 3D printer that is just a bit bigger. Only a little bit bigger. Not a Delta, it's a Cartesian, but it's, yeah, you should see a video about that soon-ish, I think. So, yeah, this is, I don't know if that's in shot or not, but this is my baby. The first one I built, the one that's wobbly and unsupported and just plain fugly, I built that one as a proof of concept to see how easy it would be to build a 3D printer from complete scratch. And the reason I went Delta, which is this type you see here, the reason I went Delta is because it is it's a little bit cheaper to build, actually. I mean, if you look on Kickstarter, there's a Delta robot that you can literally buy for, I think, $70. And mine, granted, mine cost more than that. The electronics in mine cost more than that. So I have no idea how they got that low. But, yeah, Delta printers, to me, apart from the obvious sort of cool factor of just seeing 3 arms go into the center and then it moving a head around with almost exact accuracy, I just find that awesome. And it's cheaper, yeah, and it's actually, tuning them is a little bit difficult, but actually building it is less difficult than a Cartesian, I would say. Tuning it is probably the most difficult part of a Delta printer, because you have to spend probably hours, if not days, measuring like 0.02 millimeter differences in height over a glass bed, and it's just it's terrifying. Well, not terrifying, sorry, it's agonizing. That's the word. So doing this, or tuning this one, is going to be annoying. But yeah, hopefully this is going to have 2 print heads. The bigger one that I'm doing is going to hopefully have 3. And for most people who aren't completely into 3D printing, you might be asking yourself, why 3 heads? Well, the reason most people have 2 heads, other than having 2 different colors, is that you can have one material be your main material, and then one be a dissolving support. So you can just stick it in water or whatever, and it'll dissolve away the support. The third, I argue, you can use for a flexible material, or any other exotic material. so you can build in living hinges into your models. Now, granted, I am not that great of a 3D modeler, but I know people who are, and they need this stuff. That's why I think that you can, yeah, that's why I think that a 3-headed extruder, or maybe even more depending on what you do, is a good idea. Maybe not a good idea, but it's a good theory. Actually putting it into practice is rather difficult. So that's pretty much going to be it for this video. You're probably going to see some more 3D printing stuff in the past. I'm sorry, I've been away for so long. So yeah, goodbye. Just hit my glasses.